ABC News Live.
Tonight, on the verge of passing, the Senate is expected to take up a vote that could raise the nation's debt ceiling and avert an economic disaster. But do they have the votes?
The people who negotiated this, I wouldn't let them buy me a car.
Plus, what one reality TV scandal says about the impact shows are now having on viewers' lives and their collective obsessions with celebrity culture and gossip.
I think people were used to be embarrassed to say they watched it, and now it's like your go-to guilty pleasure. You could be a well-rounded person. You could care about what's happening in Ukraine and also what's happening at SUR.
And captivating fans around the globe. In tonight's Prime playlist, we introduce you to Lolo Zouai as the singer takes the stage and the music world by storm. And good evening, everyone. I'm Trevor Alden for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We're following all those stories and much more, including the president's sudden fall at the U.S. Air Force Academy graduation ceremony, the concern among Democrats tonight, and what the White House is now saying. Plus, the special counsel's new tapes that reportedly have former President Trump discussing the existence of classified documents, and the search for 3 missing people in that Iowa building collapse, and what engineers knew in the days leading up to this catastrophe. Plus, the daughter of Bruce Willis speaking out on her father's condition as we learn more about the diagnosis that's ailing the iconic actor. Our correspondents are fanned out across the country covering those stories and more for us tonight. But we begin in Washington, where the Senate is scrambling to pass that debt ceiling compromise with so much on the line. The president has to sign the bill by Monday or risk a devastating default that could impact millions of Americans, from Social Security recipients to Medicare as well. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate will stay in session until it's done. And this is one instance where Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is in lockstep with his counterpart. He's also urging his fellow Republicans to approve this deal. Some senators have proposed as many as a dozen amendments, which could push the timeline past that urgent Monday deadline. So what comes next? Our senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott leads us off tonight from Capitol Hill.
Tonight, the clock ticking toward a catastrophic default. 4 days left. And with the House passing President Biden and Speaker Kevin McCarthy's deal to lift the debt limit overnight,
the bill is passed.
The pressure is on the Senate.
Time is a luxury the Senate does not have if we want to prevent default.
But it won't be easy. Some senators aren't happy. Republicans are pushing for more military funding.
The people who negotiated this, I wouldn't let them buy me a car.
You're a hard no on this.
Yeah, I think so.
And progressive Democrats aren't sold either, taking issue with new work requirements for some Americans on food assistance.
What are your major concerns with this debt limit bill?
This debt ceiling agreement will cut programs for some of the most vulnerable people in America.
The 2-year deal would reduce the deficit by $1.5 trillion over 10 years, clawing back billions in COVID relief and end Biden's freeze on student loan repayments in August. It needs just 60 votes to pass, but any single senator has the power to slow it all down. But tonight, senators on both sides of the aisle acknowledge time is running out and default is not an option.
We have to pass this bill. I'm going to have to swallow hard on some parts of it. I'm sure other members say the same thing.
And Rachel Scott joins me now. So, Rachel, where do things stand in the Senate right now?
Well, Trevor, senators are bracing for a very long night here on Capitol Hill. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is promising to keep the Senate in session for as long as it takes until that bill reaches President Biden's desk. That vote could happen as early as tonight, and Schumer is confident that he does have the votes for it to pass. Trevor.
And the clock to the deadline ticks ever forward. Rachel Scott for us. Thanks for chasing all that down. Of course, what's generating a lot of headlines out of Washington, D.C. is President Biden and an incident at the U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, where he delivered a commencement address today. After shaking hands with new graduates, he tripped over a sandbag and fell as he was walking back to his seat before quickly getting up. I want to bring in ABC's chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce. Mary, what's the White House saying about this incident? How's the president doing tonight?
Well, Trevor, first of all, the White House says the president is doing fine, and he certainly appeared that way when we saw him on camera shortly after that fall. This did all happen after he delivered that commencement address in Colorado and shook hands with graduates for nearly 2 hours. The president then turning to head back to his seat when it appeared he tripped over that sandbag that was right next to him there on the stage. He was able to get back up and was able to interact with the crowd after that fall. But of course, given voters' concerns about the president's age, this is an image that his critics are already pouncing on. Donald Trump was quick to weigh in on all this. But the bottom line, Trevor, tonight is that the president, the White House, says he simply tripped and that he is doing well.
I'd imagine we're going to be seeing this trip played an awful lot from conservatives. Thank you very much, Mary Bruce.
Thank you.
And also tonight, federal prosecutors say they have an audio recording from July of 2021 with former President Trump acknowledging that he held on to a sensitive military document about a possible attack in Iran. And those comments appear to contradict his repeated claim that he had declassified material that was still in his possession. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, Donald Trump hitting the campaign trail in Iowa, facing fresh questions about his handling of hundreds of classified documents. ABC News learning federal prosecutors have obtained a recording of the former president acknowledging he held onto a sensitive military document involving potential U.S. military action against Iran back when he was president, and that he kept that document after leaving the White House. The audio was allegedly part of a conversation with aides who were helping former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows write a memoir. The meeting with Trump took place at his Bedminster Golf Club 6 months after he left office. Sources say in the recording, Trump suggested he knew the document laying out that possible scenario for an attack on Iran was highly sensitive. That audio, which has already been played before a grand jury, could undermine Trump's repeated claims that any documents he took from the White House were already declassified.
If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it.
But special counsel Jack Smith is investigating whether Trump violated any federal laws or put national security at risk. Questions that the former president brushed off just weeks ago.
Did you ever show those classified documents to anyone?
Not really. I would have the right to. By the way, they were declassified after. Not that I can think of. Let me just tell you, I have the absolute right to do whatever I want with them.
The recording was made several months before Trump's team handed over 15 boxes of classified documents to the National Archives, and more than a year before the FBI's raid at Mar-a-Lago. Tonight, the whereabouts of the alleged document are unknown.
And Pierre Thomas joins me now. Pierre, what is former President Trump saying about this report, first of all, but also where does this investigation stand tonight?
Well, Trump is accusing the Justice Department of trying to derail his candidacy and of interfering with the election. This is all signs point to the classified documents investigation heading to its final stages, Trevor.
All right, Pierre Thomas, thank you. And next tonight to the air quality alert across the Northeast as smoke from Canadian wildfires has drifted as far south as D.C. Meantime, a new tropic system is brewing in the Gulf. Our Rob Marciano's tracking it all for us tonight. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Trevor. Yeah, today is June 1st. It's the start of hurricane season. We'll discuss that storm in a bit, but let's go over the air quality. It's been a combination of that smoke from those fires you talked about and ozone. We've had some stagnant air. The heat's building up, and especially in the cities, that's where we're seeing this. And we've got several states that are under it here. The entire state of Illinois, including Chicago, Milwaukee, back through Detroit as well, and up through the Great Lakes, and then the I-95 corridor back through D.C. And that's where more concentrated smoke levels are. You see they kind of disperse and then maybe come back a little bit tomorrow. So these air quality alerts are up until at least through tomorrow, in part because of the heat, too. We had temperatures in the 90s today across northern Vermont, records falling there in Burlington, 94, likely a record tomorrow in Hartford, Connecticut. So that will contribute to the bad air quality. And then things clear out, or at least cool down, over the weekend. All right, here's that depression. It's our second tropical depression of the season, forecast to be a named storm, Arlene, overnight tonight as it drifts to the south. Right now bringing some rain to the Panama City area. As you can see in the forecast track, we drifted towards Cuba and then dissipated, runs into some problems with winds. So not a strong storm by any means, but it's going to bring more in the way of some unwanted and in some cases flooding rain, especially to South Florida. So here we are, first day of hurricane season, Trevor, and we're off to the races.
A little welcome gift to the season. Rob Marciano, thank you. Well, the search has been suspended for a man who fell overboard a Carnival cruise ship near Florida. According to Carnival, 35-year-old Ronnie Peel Jr. fell over his balcony railing earlier this week as the ship was sailing 186 miles off the coast of Jacksonville. And after searching more than 5,000 square miles over the course of 60 hours, the Coast Guard says it has suspended search efforts for Peel. Well, next tonight to the war in Ukraine, Kyiv again under attack, this time taking the lives of 3 people, including a mother and her 9-year-old daughter. Reports tonight that they couldn't get into the shelter because it was locked. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burge is in Ukraine.
Tonight, buildings burning in a Russian border town as Ukraine steps up attacks. Smoke rising and explosions ringing out in videos circulating online. Ukraine shelling the Russian side and today launching a fresh cross-border assault. Anti-Putin far-right paramilitary groups made up of Russian nationals and backed by Ukraine attacking a border checkpoint, claiming they made it onto Russian soil, saying this drone video shows their men destroying Russian military equipment. Tonight, Russia claiming it successfully repelled the attack. They went on a similar mission inside Russia last week, and we were there when they returned to Ukraine.
On the face of it, what these men achieved is pretty remarkable, causing havoc in a small area of land inside Russia over the border. But this whole operation is shrouded in propaganda.
And after that dashcam video showing the danger of debris from shot-down Russian missiles, today in Kyiv, a grandfather sitting by the body of his 9-year-old granddaughter. She and her mother and another woman killed overnight by falling missile debris.
The 3 victims were trying to get into an air raid shelter, which was inexplicably locked. An investigation is underway. Trevor?
Just awful. Tom Sufi-Burge for us tonight. Tom, thanks so much. And next, a new warning about a surge in organized retail crime. As stores say they're losing big money and raising prices to cover it. And the greatest cost could be to the safety of workers. ABC's Ariel Reshev has the details.
You've seen the videos of brazen smash and grabs at many different retailers across the country, and federal authorities are now sounding the alarm about coordinated robberies like these.
It's an absolute threat.
It's called organized retail crime, where groups of criminals steal high-value items to then sell online or elsewhere.
They know exactly what stores to hit, when and where. And obviously, the profitability is the key here.
Retailers say this type of crime is reaching unprecedented levels, forcing the average family to pay an estimated $500 more each year on goods.
Are you seeing a dramatic rise in this type of crime?
Absolutely. It's growing double-digit year over year.
And Homeland Security officials tell ABC News they now see violent gangs and dangerous international groups getting involved, organizations suspected of ties to drug trafficking or even terrorism financing.
These criminal networks, they may be full-time drug traffickers that see an opportunity to work with a crew that's already stealing.
Big box retailers like the Home Depot have been hit especially hard, investigating hundreds of cases and losing billions of dollars this past year alone.
This is what we refer to our billion-dollar aisles, billions and billions of dollars worth of sales in this product, and then about a third of our losses from a theft and frauds perspective come from, power tools particularly.
Why do you believe that you've seen such an uptick?
Pandemic aside, which kind of emboldened some people wearing masks. There's the online proliferation. About 90% of our organized retail crime cases involve some type of online selling platform. Opioids and fentanyl continuing to drive the need for fast cash.
But worrying these stores even more, they say thieves are growing more and more violent, threatening employees with guns, knives, even a hammer. Home Depot says it's taking steps to protect its workers and fight growing organized retail crime, showing us new measures they're testing in this store outside Atlanta. Alarmed gates, increased surveillance, and locking up merchandise.
How much is a spool like that worth?
Anywhere from $1,000 to upward of about $3,500.
How much do you think one of these spools weighs?
Probably close to 500, 800 pounds. They're rolling it out, throwing it in the back of a pickup truck or the trunk of a car and speeding away.
You can see that we've had to put a barrier in between the bad actors and the product.
But is it working?
It's definitely working.
Our thanks to Ariel Resha for that report. Next tonight, the FDA has issued a warning to consumers to not use off-brand versions of popular weight loss drugs. Those off-brand versions of drugs like Ozempic contain compounded drugs. Those are not the same as generic drugs, which are FDA approved. Health officials say compounding pharmacies, which make custom versions of the drugs, may not contain the same ingredients, and they may not be safe or effective. Also, the family of Marvin Gaye's co-writer on Let's Get It On intends to appeal a verdict in Manhattan federal court in favor of Ed Sheeran, according to a recent court filing. The document did not say on what grounds the family would appeal, but it did signal the family would challenge the outcome and several rulings made by the judge. The jury sided with Sheeran, who insisted the chord progression of his song Thinking Out Loud was common and belonged to no particular artist. Next to an ABC News exclusive, GMA anchor Michael Strahan spoke with the Texas cheerleader shot 3 times after a teammate opened the door to the wrong car thinking it was hers. Peyton Washington spent time in the ICU but is recovering. Here's ABC's Maria Villarreal.
It was a shooting in a grocery store parking lot near Austin, Texas. A cheerleader nearly getting into the wrong car. Police say Pedro Rodriguez got out of the car with a gun, opening fire on that cheerleader and 3 other members of the team after she'd returned to the car they were traveling in after practice. One cheerleader grazed by a bullet, another shot 3 times but surviving. And tonight, just 6 weeks later, that survivor, Peyton Washington, speaking in an exclusive interview with GMA anchor Michael Strahan.
Tell me what you remember.
I was actually texting and eating Twizzlers like...
You being a teenager.
Exactly.
Peyton reliving the moment. Gunfire erupted as she sat in the car with her fellow members of the cheerleading squad.
When I heard the first shot, I had turned immediately with my blanket. I didn't know where it was coming from or anything, but it being so loud that my ears were ringing, like I knew to turn and do something.
Peyton suffered life-threatening injuries, but is now out of the hospital. And tonight, she is officially a high school graduate.
Pedro Rodriguez was charged and arrested with deadly conduct. His lawyer telling us tonight that he actually posted a $100,000 bond recently, and he is now at home with his family. Trevor?
Interesting. Maria Villarreal, thank you. And on GMA tomorrow, we'll have Michael's full interview with Peyton Washington, the moments she fought for her life and what she now has to say to the man who opened fire. And we still have much more to get to here on Prime, including the moment a Sherpa put a struggling climber on his back and carried him hundreds of feet down Mount Everest. But next, an affair between 2 stars of a popular Bravo reality series has created a firestorm. Why are millions of people hooked? We're going to take a look at the anatomy of a scandal.
When we think about what's conceptualized as trashy, trivial, the viewership or the readership is anticipated to be women. Yet we know that men are engaging as well.
Whenever news breaks,
the crush of families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado.
From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine. Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
Here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. Been a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you?
Yeah. So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
It's reality TV's biggest scandal, an affair between two stars of the popular Bravo show Vanderpump Rules. And the hookup caused some major divisions within the tight circle of friends on the show, but it also has revealed the cultural obsession with gossip. But why do people care so much? Here's our Megan Wright.
So I'm driving in Hollywood, and you know it's a place full of dreams. You have the young and the beautiful that flock here for a chance at fame, and some of them find it in reality TV. For fans and even the cast of the popular show Vanderpump Rules, there will forever be two realities. One before, and now one after Scandoval.
It was like a nuclear bomb, and all hell broke loose after that. It was just so brazen and bold and wonderful viewing.
I don't give a about Raquel! Your friendship is bullshit!
No, it's not!
Yes, it is!
Scandoval is something that has consumed the lives of every single Bravoholic for 2 straight months.
I totally believe, as someone who has studied reality shows and watched it all, this is by far the biggest scandal that has ever happened in reality show history.
But how did a singular cheating scandal on a reality TV show pierce the public consciousness? From the New York Times to Time Magazine, there were explainers, tutorials, breakdowns, and more.
Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix have broken up.
Our office is in free fall on this.
ET has confirmed the longtime loves are done.
Scandoval has also opened up a deeper conversation about the impact these reality shows have on some viewers' lives and our collective obsession with celebrity culture and gossip.
I think people were used to be embarrassed to say they watched it, and now it's like your go-to guilty pleasure. You can be a well-rounded person. You could care about what's happening in Ukraine and also what's happening at SUR. You can.
Why should we feel guilty about these things? And I'll bring us back to the question of gender, because we don't say we feel guilty for watching the Super Bowl. So when we think about what's conceptualized as trashy, trivial, the viewership or the readership is anticipated to be women. Yet we know that men are engaging as well.
For beginners, Vanderpump Rules started as the story behind the scenes of the West Hollywood restaurant SUR.
Vanderpump Rules is a gigantic wine glass, 30% sexy, 30% unique, 20% the drunkest you've ever seen human beings behave on camera. Some people consider The Sopranos the greatest show of all time, which I'm one of those people. I would say Vanderpump Rules is the Sopranos of reality TV. Like, it's one of the best casted shows ever in reality TV because it wasn't really, casted. It was an organic group of friends.
These relationships feel organic. They don't feel forced, like, two housewives who got together because they're both rich and now they're on the same show. They're actually friends with each other, and I think the viewer can feel that.
To understand what happened, first it's important to know who's who. When it comes to Scandoval, it really comes down to 3 main players. Tom Sandoval, longtime boyfriend to Ariana Madix. Then there's Raquel Leviss, who joined in season 5 while dating SUR busboy turned DJ James Kennedy. After James and Raquel broke up, the former pageant queen stayed on the show, working at SUR, becoming best friends with Ariana. Meanwhile, Ariana and Tom celebrated 9 anniversaries, bought a house together, and released a book. All seemed smooth sailing until March of this year, when it came out that Tom and Raquel were having an affair.
This is a group where you sleep with my boyfriend, I'm mad at you for now, and then we go back to being best friends. The dynamic between all of us is very strange, but it's incredible to watch. And even though we've all evolved into different jobs and buying homes, having children, the level of crazy is still there. I mean, we've come full circle. We're back to, oh my gosh, someone banged someone else's boyfriend. Except the stakes are much higher.
Do you remember, like, exactly where you were when you found out about Scandoval?
Well, I was suspicious about Sandoval and Raquel having a thing for a while, but I was in my office and I got a text message saying cameras are going back up. And I was like, we got season 11 already, yay! And they said, no, something has happened. I then called my friend Sheena, who had just been with Raquel the night before. She said, I can't talk. And I said, all I need to know is it what I've been suspecting? And she said, yes. And I just lost my mind.
Lots of people say, why is this such a big deal? You know, there's been divorces and cheating. It's like, no, they were all best friends. So everybody feels like they were cheated on.
How was I so blind to this?
Jamie Lynn and Kale Ramsey Ackerson are members of the VPR Inner Circle. Fans of the show may recognize them. They are occasionally glimpsed in episodes. Jamie looks back now and says she unknowingly captured an intimate video of Tom and Raquel back in August, the night the affair allegedly started.
I just thought they were developing a deeper friendship. Sandoval and Raquel kind of sitting right in front of the car, but they knew we were there. And then we get out of the car and we show it to them, and they're laughing. No one's antennas go up, and not even them. I get back in the car and I rewatch it. Then I start noticing how close they actually were, and the body language and the way they're looking at each other. I said, I'm actually not gonna post this. I'm gonna pretend like this never happened, because if I post this and Ariana sees this, she might get the wrong idea. Meanwhile, it wouldn't have been the wrong idea. That's actually what was happening.
Raquel and Tom have issued apologies on social media. Tom wrote, I can only imagine how devastating this has been for Ariana and everyone around us. I feel really horrible about that. Raquel posted, there's no excuse. I am not a victim and must own my actions. I deeply regret hurting Ariana. Ariana herself had this defiant message. What doesn't kill me, better run.
Personally, the Scandoval has been great for business. I love it. I don't want it to end.
With a new season to come. The drama on Vanderpump Rules is far from over, which means our collective obsession with watching other people live their lives is here to stay as well.
Our thanks to Megan Wright for that report, and we still have much more to get to, including Sing Us a Swan Song, superstar singer Billy Joel announcing the end of an era. And as we mark the beginning of Pride Month, former football player R.K. Russell tells us how he is opening the book on his journey toward becoming the first active NFL player to come out as bisexual. But next, a CDC report is revealing new details about birth rates since the pandemic and how many teens are getting pregnant. We take a closer look by the numbers.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
In Putin's Russia.
on the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the Capitol,
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
Brooke Shields, the most photographed woman in the world.
A sexualized child model. Exploitation. What happened to her isn't really about her, it's just about women.
I let myself be vulnerable, and this is the first time I've ever spoken about what happened. I thought my one no should have been enough, you know.
When someone like Brooke Shields talks about it, it makes a difference.
I'm amazed that I survived any of it.
With
so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. But a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
You never know what you're going to get on this show. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yes, Whoopi! This mic on? Can you hear me out there?
Behind the scenes is always a better show.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what people don't see during the commercial break.
Right, they don't.
What happened?
I had no idea really what I was getting myself into.
That day that we walked out, I treasured that day. I couldn't sit there.
You're doing good, Joy. You're doing good. Oh, yeah, baby.
It was crazy.
Behind the Table. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Friday, follow the clues.
He was a phenomenal jazz player.
She's very friendly, happy girl.
He was a very jealous, violent man.
Here you have a body that's almost decapitated.
It was just so shocking.
Stunning new evidence.
It's hard to hide blood when it's everywhere.
And the interrogation video.
Please, your father, let me help this man get to the bottom of this case.
What?
All new 2020, Friday night on ABC. This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah.
Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
Wherever the story, ABC's Good Morning America is right there.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey, I'm David Muir. Wherever the story, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
A new CDC report shows U.S. birth rates remain below pre-pandemic levels as teen birth rates reach a historic low. So let's take a look by the numbers. There were just 13.5 births per 1,000 teens between ages 15 and 19 in 2022. That is a 3% drop from 2021, and it marks the lowest level ever, according to data from the CDC's National Center for Health Statistics. Now, teen birth rates in the U.S. have fallen some 80% since their last peak in 1991, with a steady decline every year since 2009. It's attributed mainly to more contraceptive use and better sex education. Overall, there were an estimated 3.66 million U.S. births in 2022. That's relatively flat with the prior year, according to the CDC's early analysis of birth certificates in 2022. That's still down from the 3.75 million births in 2019 before the pandemic helped spur a decline. Now, birth rates remain highest among women in their late 20s and early 30s, where the report did see a 4% increase in the birth rate for women between 40 and 44 over the prior year, as more women are having children later in life. And births to Hispanic women rose 6% in 2022, making up some 25% of the total U.S. births last year, the second largest group behind white women, who made up 50% of U.S. births. Now, the total U.S. fertility rate remained around 1.665 children per woman in 2022. That is still below the 2.1 level that's needed to maintain the current U.S. population level. And experts tell the Wall Street Journal that fewer births, combined with more baby boomer retirements, could actually soon impact the U.S. labor force supply within the next 10 years. And we have much more ahead here on Prime. We have the new developments in a renewed search for 3-year-old Maddie McCann 16 years after she'd vanished. And she's using a mix of different beats to create a unique sound inspired by her heritage. We sit down with singer-songwriter Lolo Zouai in this week's Prime playlist.
Do you love songwriting?
I do. That's my favorite part of the whole process. It's being in the studio, having that feeling, that excitement, like, oh, I'm coming up with this great concept. And it's like a math puzzle.
It takes asking the straightforward, tough questions.
Do you believe that Donald Trump should ever be president again?
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah.
Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
The news-making interviews.
You said that there were 6 friends. One of them was sick.
Yeah.
Do you have future political aspirations?
going to the front line.
The search for survivors. How does this war end?
And getting to the heart of the story.
Thank you for being here. We'll be here for the long run.
ABC News, #1 in the morning, the #1 newscast, #1 in daytime talk, Friday nights, Sunday mornings versus the competition, and the #1 streaming news. Thank you for making ABC News America's trusted, straightforward first choice.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. Been a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different.
Early mornings on ABC News Live.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine, close to the front line.
from the capital.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
We're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
Friday, follow the clues.
He was a phenomenal jazz player.
She's very friendly, happy girl.
He was a very jealous, violent man.
Here you have a body that's almost decapitated.
It was just so shocking.
Stunning new evidence.
It's hard to hide blood when it's everywhere.
And the interrogation video.
Please, your father, let me help this man get to the bottom of this case.
What?
All new 2020, Friday night on ABC.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
Tuesday night, celebrate Pride. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
And with the exclusive network interview with Elliot Page.
I'm feeling that joy every day. I really am.
Tuesday night at 10/9 Central on ABC.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
An update on the search through the rubble of a partially collapsed building, new developments 16 years after a toddler vanished from a hotel room, and video showing a Sherpa carrying a climber through an area called the Death Zone. Those stories and more in tonight's Rundown.
Rescue efforts in Davenport, Iowa are now recovery efforts at the site of the partial building collapse.
Officials say they still cannot account for 3 residents who lived in that apartment complex. City saying structural engineering reports indicated patches in the building's brick facing were pulling apart from that building before the collapse. Fire officials confirming 4 children had died in a Memphis, Tennessee apartment building this afternoon. Those siblings were 2, 4, and 6 years old. Investigators say the fire started between the apartment's kitchen and bedroom when a rigged electrical wire ignited. Memphis police have detained the children's father as they investigate, but say the cause of the fire was accidental. They have not ruled out charges against the father. The FDA is warning about the dangers of using off-brand versions of popular weight loss drugs that include Ozempic and Wegovy. Health officials say the off-brand versions may not contain the same ingredients or be safe or effective. Agency receiving reports that the off-brand weight loss drugs have made some patients sick. They are usually sold online and have not been FDA approved. Police are recovering a number of items in the renewed search for British 3-year-old Maddie McCann in southern Portugal. She vanished from a resort while on vacation with her parents 16 years ago. British, Portuguese, and German police taking part in the 3-day search near a reservoir. German police have identified a potential suspect. Authorities checking if the items they found are linked to her disappearance. A remarkable rescue on Mount Everest. A Sherpa saved the life of a Malaysian climber struggling in the so-called death zone. Climber was seen shivering and clinging to a rope. The Sherpa guide carrying him 1,900 feet down the mountain. Another guide then helping him get back to base camp, where they airlifted him to a hospital. Billy Joel is moving out of Madison Square Garden. After a decade-long residency, he announced his final 10 shows at MSG.
He has set records for the most lifetime performances by an artist and the most consecutive performances. Now he will end the run after grossing more than $200 million.
Captivating the audience with songs including My Life. Joel paid tribute to those fans once again.
I want to thank them for coming for this long, for this much. It's hard to end.
It will be his 104th show in the series, 150th at the Garden overall. Every show sold out. And while he's ending his run, Billy Joel says he's not retiring.
Next to Bruce Willis's daughter Tallulah, writing candidly in Vogue about her father's dementia, her own struggles, and the moment she knew something was wrong with her father. ABC's Ariel Reshef has the latest.
In a soul-bearing editorial for Vogue, Tallulah Willis is opening up about the impact of her father Bruce Willis's battle with frontotemporal dementia. The third daughter of the action star and actress Demi Moore telling the magazine, "I've known that something was wrong for a long time. It started out with kind of vague unresponsiveness, which the family chalked up to Hollywood hearing loss. Speak up, Die Hard mess with dad's ears. Later, that unresponsiveness broadened, and I sometimes took it personally." Tallulah candidly sharing, "He had 2 babies with my stepmother, Emma Hemming Willis, and I thought he'd lost interest in me, though this couldn't have been further from the truth."
Happy birthday to you.
Last year, Willis's family, including his daughters, wife Emma and ex-wife Demi, shared with the public Bruce's initial diagnosis of aphasia, which makes it difficult to speak, communicate, or comprehend speech, before receiving the diagnosis of FTD. Since then, his family has been bringing awareness, as well as sharing their own experiences as he fights the incurable illness.
I do have times of sadness.
Tallulah admitting in the article that she too has struggled with the family's new reality, in addition to facing an eating disorder and addiction. Writing, "I have met Bruce's decline in recent years with a share of avoidance and denial that I'm not proud of. The truth is that I was too sick myself to handle it." Now, the 29-year-old says she is on the road to healing and soaking in the precious moments with her dad. "I take tons of photos of whatever I see, the state of things," she says. "I'm like an archaeologist searching for treasure in stuff that I never used to pay much attention to. I have every voicemail from him saved on a hard drive. I find that I'm trying to document, to build a record for the day when he isn't there, to remind me of him and of us."
And thanks once again to Ariel Reshef. Next, a new wedding trend is emerging. Brides-to-be are ditching bachelorette parties instead for a solo celebration. Our Janae Norman has the story.
It's the last hurrah before getting hitched, a chance to let loose.
So relax, and I'm ready to party.
Now, some brides are taming down traditional bachelorette parties and instead opting for a solo bachelorette, time by themselves, where the only thing on the agenda is R&R.
I did what I wanted to do, which was relax and reflect.
Last year, 36-year-old Asia Dang Puspos went for a solo spa bachelorette at a resort in Arizona ahead of her Hawaiian nuptials.
I was also having a destination wedding. I didn't want to put any more cost on my girlfriends.
Asia says she spent 5 days pampering herself.
I had massages and facials every single day, and I went on hikes. I played pickleball.
Asia posting about her trip on TikTok, where solo bachelorette videos have more than 2.8 billion views. Wedding planning platform Zola says this post-pandemic trend is here to stay.
we see that about 7% of couples this year are actually opting for a solo batch trip. People being more comfortable traveling by themselves and really wanting to travel with purpose makes them feel like they can take a solo batch trip if they want to.
At the Saratoga Arms Hotel in upstate New York, owner Amy Smith says she's hosted a handful of brides and expects that number to keep rising.
These women just need to take a step back and have other people do the planning for them. And we have the ability to curate a weekend for these different women.
As for Asia, she says she has no regrets about her solo trip and encourages other brides to consider opting for one too.
It is still to this day one of my favorite life experiences. Being able to go on a trip by yourself and do what you want is the best feeling.
All right, thanks to Janae Norman. Back in 2019, in a very personal essay for ESPN, he made history as the first active player in the NFL to come out as bisexual. And as we begin our celebration of Pride Month, former NFL defensive end R.K. Russell is with us to discuss his new book, The Yards Between Us, a memoir of life, love, and football. R.K., thanks so much for being here. How you doing?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Doing great.
It's been 4 short years since that essay on ESPN. I can only imagine the whirlwind that followed. But now here we are. You've written this book. I mean, you're talking about your experience so publicly as an ambassador for the LGBTQ plus community. How are you feeling these days?
Oh, my God, I feel great. Life has been wonderful and full to me. I think I've allowed for genuine love and connection to come to my life when I came out and when I opened myself up to the world in that way. And also, to see sport grow and transform, specifically male sports in the NFL, has been a huge part of my mission and my goal. It's something I continue to champion and something that we've made progress on. So, you know, life is great.
You were in your late 20s when you wrote that essay, but obviously this was something that you had been wrestling with internally for quite a while. You mentioned that you only knew one openly gay student at your high school in Creekview. You would catch him just standing there staring off into the distance, trying to breathe, hiding in plain sight. What was the process like for you going through your past and what were probably a lot of painful experiences knowing where you've ended up today?
Yeah, it was definitely one that I would consider to be therapeutic. To see your life in full and to analyze those moments, the lessons that they taught you, the hardships that you not only went through but overcame, and to see also the bigger picture, how things that happened when you were a young boy influence the young man that you are. And it helps you inform you of how to move forward, what you want for your own future and those around you. But the process, though challenging, is one that is motivating and inspiring for me personally, because everything that I've written about, I knew that I had gone through and I had overcome. So I wanted to also share that message with every young reader, every sports fan, every LGBTQ plus person, and I hope to do that through that book.
What was the reaction from your fellow athletes and the sports community after you came out?
It was a great celebration. Anyone that knew me personally knew the hardships that I had gone through as a human being, as a black man in America, as a football player, and to know that I had also carried the burden of this secret with me, or the shame, the stigma, the stereotype, the homophobia, that I had gone through all that as well. Granted, nothing but respect from everyone that knew me, players, coaches, mentors, peers in general. So it was definitely a celebration for me, and something that I want all LGBTQ plus people to feel, something I want all athletes, both closeted and out, to feel. And it was a moment that I only look back with the greatest of feelings about.
But in that same vein, I would imagine that this book you also want to extend to people who are not in the LGBTQ plus community to also share about your experience.
Of course. I think books are a great way to see humans for just who they are, just as humans, and to create empathy. I think empathy is the biggest thing that each of us can work on, that we can continue to grow, and that helps us be allies, helps us be brothers, teammates, friends, and just helps us get through this life. Because I think with almost 8 billion people in this world, we're not meant to go through life feeling alone or isolated or not included. So I think this book, yes, it's a great message for those who are LGBTQ plus people in sport, outside of sport, but it's also to extend a hand to those who are not like me, to allow you to read about someone's journey and to see them as just being a human being.
And did I read correctly that you're actually, it's not just a book, you're teaming up with Sony Pictures, you're going to turn The Yards Between Us not just into a series, but a comedy series?
Yes, The Yards Between Us is going to be a comedy series. Gabrielle Union has been a collaborator in this. She'll be co-executive producer, and she really was one that brought the idea of comedy to me, to just arm people with a laugh, to have people sit together and talk about topics that seem to be hard topics, but talk about them with a grain of salt and with joy and humor. And hopefully we will disarm people so that we can have the conversation of what it is to just be a human being.
I know that she's been very complimentary of your book as well. I'm curious, you know, as we're entering Pride Month here, RK, we as a society can tend to put people into boxes, you know, based on whatever boxes they may check in terms of gender, in terms of race, or things like that. How do you view yourself and your own identity?
I am a Black bisexual man. That's what I am. That's what I've always been, regardless of the times that it's taken me to realize it, the intersections that I embody, the communities that welcome me and that I feel invited to. But at the end of the day, the only box, the only label that really matters for all of us is that of being human. I fight for the LGBTQ+ community because of the disparity. I fight for the Black community because of racism and things like that. But at the end of the day, we're all human. The fight for equality and love is something we should all champion for all communities and all people.
Do you think that a younger you would ever imagine you'd be doing interviews proudly saying you're a Black bisexual man?
No, not at all. A younger me was just trying to live life, find joy, and I think that my mission now, the book, The Yards Between Us, everything that I do is to make sure that young people can do that, regardless of the beautiful communities that they embody and the labels that they carry or that are placed on them.
Well, it's been wonderful talking to you. RK Russell, thanks so much for your time, and you can pick up The Yards Between Us wherever books are sold. Next, she is on the path to pop royalty. Lolo Zouai performs dynamic shows. She writes her own hooks that are infused with R&B and electronic beats, and it has a style all her own, inspired by her French and Algerian roots. 28-year-old singer is winning over fans with her eclectic energy, and our Phil Lipoff takes us inside the world of Lolo in our latest Prime playlist.
From the first note, Lolo Zouai has a crowd of more than 1,200 fans captivated as they sing every word to every one of her songs. New York City's Irving Plaza sold out. Just Lolo and the crowd. They know what song comes next by just a single sound. A hardcore, devoted fan base.
About to do my meet and greet? I would love to.
The 28-year-old born in Paris to a French mother and an Algerian father.
And we moved to San Francisco when I was 3 months old. So pretty much, you know, grew up in America, but with this French Algerian background. So a lot of different cultures to influence me.
Lolo says she always wanted to be famous, even practiced her signature when she was young for autographs. And it was clear early on. She had the talent to match her big dreams, like in this rendition of All I Want for Christmas Is You. Graduating high school in 2013, pursuing music, eventually co-writing Still Down.
Tell me right now, are you still down?
One of the songs on hers Grammy-winning self-titled album. Then in 2019, releasing her own full-length album, High Highs to Low Lows. Some in the music industry initially comparing her voice and style to Ariana Grande, among others.
There were some comparisons, but it was also comparisons to people that I look up to.
Her sound, a sultry mix of R&B, pop, and hip-hop with those French and Arabic influences mixed in. Grabbing attention immediately, Desert Rose. Born out of a painful experience caught between her American and Algerian cultures.
I was in New York, and I was in the studio at the time working on music, and I just posted a photo of myself with the middle finger up, like in the studio. It was a great photo. I looked great. And I just started getting some hateful messages from a family member in Algeria.
21 at the time, she canceled a planned trip to Algeria for a family wedding, instead sitting down to write Desert Rose. The first line,
Inshallah, that's what you say. You think I lost my faith. You won't speak my name.
Lolo writes from the heart, her lyrics capturing who she is and how she feels. Her writing process different from song to song.
So what I do is I just start with a beat or a melody, like on a piano chord progression with some drums, and I'll just go on the mic and sing melodies, like for 20 minutes. And then it's the hardest part and my favorite part, the lyrics. And then I'll just sit down on my computer and type them away. It can take one day or it can take 2 weeks. It depends on the song. But the way that I start it is with a song title. My song titles are kind of silly sometimes, like Gummy Bear.
Gummy Bear. You're so cute in my gummy bear on the top.
A long way away from the first song she ever wrote at the age of 6.
It was in first grade. I wrote my first song called School's Out.
Oh, give me some.
Okay, it was school's out, and you know I wanna party. School's out, no more working for my teacher. Have fun, dancing with your best friend. And if you're married, dancing with your husband.
Are you serious?
And there was a rap section.
You wrote a rap for it too. This is first grade.
Dring, the bell rings. Everybody goes out, that's the first thing. Now, out we go. We're gonna have fun, that we know. Party at my house, I hope so. I got a sister, got to go. And then, doom, doom, doom. It was like a hit. Honestly, if I recorded it now, #1.
When you were in first grade, how old are you? 5, 6?
Yeah.
Working on her writing skills for 22 years, and then a huge opportunity to open for Dua Lipa. With momentum building, a 2022 sophomore album release, Playgirl.
Lolo presents Playgirl. www.playgirl.com.
The title track sets the pace and takes you on a futuristic journey through Lolo's mind, with tracks like Crazy Sexy Dream Girl, Blur, and fan favorite, Picking Berries.
Do you love songwriting?
I do. That's my favorite part of the whole process. It's being in the studio, having that feeling, that excitement, like, oh, I'm coming up with this great concept. And it's like a math puzzle.
And her fans love every bit of it, not only embracing her as an artist, but also celebrating her French and Algerian heritage as well.
I had a show last night in Montreal, and during Desert Rose, 3 different people brought out Algerian flags, and they were waving the Algerian flag. And when that first happened to me, I started crying because I did not expect it.
A powerful show of support, as authenticity and honesty are so important to Lolo. Now, laser focused, headlining her own tour, writing new music, never far from her roots, hoping for a full circle moment someday soon.
I would imagine you haven't played in Algeria.
I have not. I would love to.
Is that something you'd like to do someday?
Yeah, definitely. I apparently have a big fan base there. It would be amazing. I would love to do shows in all of North Africa and Middle East. That'd be sick. I feel like I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish. I still feel like I haven't written my best music and that I have more in me.
Thanks to Phil Lipoff for that report. That's our show for this hour. I'm Trevor Ault. Stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thanks for streaming with us. Coming up in the next hour, inside Haiti's humanitarian crisis with rising gang violence as it also sees the first signs of famine. And she's the first transgender woman to model in Victoria's Secret. Amira Despain tells us about that historic moment and how she's now creating a community online in this week's TikTok.
This is ABC News Live Prime.
Thanks so much for streaming with us.
Live reporting, breaking news, exclusives, award-winning, powerful, eye-opening. ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis. Streaming weeknights. Right now in America, with so much at stake, thank you for making ABC's This Week America's #1 news and politics show on Sunday mornings. This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000. Yeah. Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
Wherever the story, ABC's Good Morning America is right there.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital. Destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5. Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
You never know what you're going to get on this show. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yes, Whoopi! Is this mic on? Can you hear me out there?
Behind the scenes is always a better show.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's what people don't see during the commercial break.
Right, they don't.
What happened?
I had no idea really what I was getting myself into.
That day that we walked out, I treasured that day. I couldn't sit there.
You're doing good, Joy. You're doing good.
Oh, yeah, baby. It was crazy.
Behind the Table. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yeah.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Friday, follow the clues.
He was a phenomenal jazz player.
She's very friendly, happy girl.
He was a very jealous, violent man.
Here you have a body that's almost decapitated.
It was just so shocking.
Stunning new evidence.
It's hard to hide blood when it's everywhere.
And the interrogation video.
Please, your father, let me help this man get to the bottom of this case.
What?
All new 2020, Friday night on ABC.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Good evening, everyone. This is ABC News Live Prime. I'm Trevor Alden for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We have a lot of news to get to this evening, including the president's sudden fall at the U.S. Air Force Academy graduation ceremony, what the White House is now saying. Plus, Matt Rivers is in one of the most volatile locations in the world. We're going to have his report from Haiti tonight. And it's a different type of love story playing out on television. The star and creator of Somebody Somewhere sits down with us to talk about the series and expanding the television landscape. But we begin in Washington, where the Senate is scrambling to pass that debt ceiling compromise with so much still on the line. The president has to sign the bill by Monday or risk a devastating default that could impact millions of Americans, from Social Security recipients to Medicare. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate will stay in session until it's done. And this is one time where Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is in lockstep with his counterpart, urging his fellow Republicans to approve the deal. So what comes next and who's hesitant to vote yes? Our senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott leads us off tonight from Capitol Hill.
Tonight, the clock ticking toward a catastrophic default. 4 days left. And with the House passing President Biden and Speaker Kevin McCarthy's deal to lift the debt limit overnight,
The bill is passed.
the pressure is on the Senate.
Time is a luxury the Senate does not have if we want to prevent default.
But it won't be easy. Some senators aren't happy. Republicans are pushing for more military funding.
The people who negotiated this, I wouldn't let them buy me a car.
You're a hard no on this.
Yeah, I think so.
And progressive Democrats aren't sold either. taking issue with new work requirements for some Americans on food assistance.
What are your major concerns with this debt limit bill?
This debt ceiling agreement will cut programs for some of the most vulnerable people in America.
The 2-year deal would reduce the deficit by $1.5 trillion over 10 years, clawing back billions in COVID relief and end Biden's freeze on student loan repayments in August. It needs just 60 votes to pass, but any single senator has the power to slow it all down. But tonight, senators on both sides of the aisle acknowledge time is running out and default is not an option.
We have to pass this bill. I'm going to have to swallow hard on some parts of it. I'm sure other members say the same thing.
Our thanks to Rachel Scott. And also tonight, federal prosecutors say they have an audio recording from July 2021 with former President Trump acknowledging he held on to a sensitive military document about a possible attack in Iran. And those comments appear to contradict his repeated claim that he had declassified the material that was still in his possession. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, Donald Trump hitting the campaign trail in Iowa, facing fresh questions about his handling of hundreds of classified documents. ABC News learning federal prosecutors have obtained a recording of the former president acknowledging he held onto a sensitive military document involving potential U.S. military action against Iran back when he was president, and that he kept that document after leaving the White House. The audio was allegedly part of a conversation with aides who were helping former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows write a memoir. The meeting with Trump took place at his Bedminster Golf Club 6 months after he left office. Sources say in the recording, Trump suggested he knew the document laying out that possible scenario for an attack on Iran was highly sensitive. That audio, which has already been played before a grand jury, could undermine Trump's repeated claims that any documents he took from the White House were already declassified.
If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it.
But special counsel Jack Smith is investigating whether Trump violated any federal laws or put national security at risk. Questions that the former president brushed off just weeks ago.
Did you ever show those classified documents to anyone?
Not really. I would have the right to. By the way, they were declassified after. Not that I can think of. Let me just tell you, I have the absolute right to do whatever I want with them.
The recording was made several months before Trump's team handed over 15 boxes of classified documents to the National Archives, and more than a year before the FBI's raid at Mar-a-Lago. Tonight, the whereabouts of the alleged document are unknown.
Thanks to Pierre Thomas. And next tonight, we go inside Haiti. The country is dealing with a rise in horrific gang violence, and it's also now seeing the first signs of a possible famine. ABC's Matt Rivers followed aid workers on a journey to children who are caught between crime and hunger.
We travel in heavily armored vehicles across Port-au-Prince, Haiti. We're headed to one of the most dangerous places in the world right now.
So right now we're going into Cité Soleil. This is an area entirely controlled by armed groups. In fact, the only reason we can get in is because one of these gangs has given us permission to enter, but they've told us we're not allowed to film as we enter the neighborhood because they don't want to show their enemies, as they call it, what they're doing.
As we approach the first checkpoint, the trash burning ahead of us, and the signal comes.
Yeah, we have to put down the, okay, there, no, let's stop filming. Let's stop filming. Stop filming, yeah.
We take their demands seriously. We're warned that one wrong move could change everything. This is what life is now like in Haiti. Not far from the U.S., a 90-minute flight. But here in Haiti, everyone tells us the violence is exploding. Armed groups now controlling at least 80% of the capital, fighting over territory. For 2 years now, there's been no elected government here. And nowhere is more desperate, more dangerous than this neighborhood, Cité Soleil. We arrive at a school with the World Food Program and their partner Hands Together to deliver food here. The violence, the control over supplies coming in has left many children with little or no food. We witness a rare scene, this small haven for the children. They go to class. But the school walls cannot protect them from what's happening on the outside. They are the innocent victims. Evans was born and raised here and now risks his own life to get food to the children. He takes us to a classroom caught in the crossfire.
In here, yup. So this is damage from a stray bullet here that came in from the street. I mean, you can see. I mean, that's the violence.
That's the violence.
And there's kids everywhere right around here.
Sometimes you'll find some bullets on the yard, in the classroom.
It's terrifying.
It is.
That terror is everywhere in Cité Soleil. Outside the school, this woman shows us the bullet holes in her door.
When the violence gets bad enough, sometimes this neighborhood can be completely cut off from the outside world for weeks at a time. That means no drinking water coming in, no food, no trash pickup. Hundreds of people have died here in this neighborhood as a result over the last few months. What's happening here is the definition of a humanitarian crisis.
Tonight, the UN says this crisis, the hunger here, is worsening. They are now approaching famine in parts of Haiti. 4.9 million people here are food insecure, half the country unable to find enough food. And nowhere else is the cruelty of hunger more evident than in this hospital. Mothers bringing in their malnourished children. No jobs, high inflation, and soaring violence means they can't feed their kids. We meet Paulette here. She lost her teenage son to the fighting, and today she's here with her youngest. Marvin's is 4 years old.
So a nurse just weighed Marvin's here using this scale. He's about 9 kilos or 20 pounds. He's 4 years old, and yet he weighs the exact same amount as my son, who's only 10 months old.
Paulette fears she can't care for her son. Today, considering giving little Marvin's up for adoption. She hopes to give him a chance. While back in that school where bullets pierced the walls, the children line up for a meal, 600 of them today alone.
Bonjour.
Then it's back to the classroom to eat. The spoon's too big for the children's little hands as they eat everything on their plates. A break from the bullets, eating their beans and Haitian rice, and for now, their bellies are full. One small victory in this urgent effort to help the children, which is rarely guaranteed.
Just remarkable reporting, and Matt Rivers joins us now from Haiti. So, Matt, the UN is calling for more than $700 million in humanitarian aid to fight this crisis, but it does seem so far those calls are going unanswered.
Yeah, Trevor, that's right. They say that money is desperately needed, but so far that appeal only 13% funded. They are hundreds of millions of dollars short of their goal, and the WFP says if that money doesn't arrive here to Haiti, the sprawling crisis going on here simply gets worse. If any of our viewers would like to individually donate, they can go to WFPUSA.org/ABC Haiti.
And we sure hope they do, because obviously there is a dire need here. So thank you to Matt Rivers, and Matt is going to bring us much more reporting out of Haiti. It is so important. So stay tuned to ABC News Live for continued in-depth coverage. Thank you, Matt. And we still have much more to get to coming up. It's a love story, but don't expect a marriage from the main characters. Bridget Everett and Jeff Hiller tell us why their new series is focused on the power of true friendship. Next, escalating violence in Sudan, why the country's military is now suspending peace talks with rival rapid support forces.
Whenever news breaks,
the crush of families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado. From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
In Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
Here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
Bring them on. If only there was a place in the morning to start my day. With a smile, somewhere to help me get in the know. A place as spectacular as, well, me.
I think we might know a place, right, guys?
Bring your friends. Oh, wait, there is.
Good morning, America.
GMA, 7A, every day. Boom, boom, boom. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Robin. Good morning, America. How are you?
Boom. Now that's how you start your day, people.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you?
Yes. So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Reporting from the White House, I'm Terry Moran. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
We're tracking several headlines around the world. In Sudan, at least 17 people were killed and more than 106 injured after a violent shelling in the capital of Khartoum. It is the largest reported number of deaths since the violence broke out 6 weeks ago, and it comes as the Sudanese military has suspended peace talks because of what they claim are repeated violations from the rival rapid support forces. The U.S. and Saudi Arabia released a statement expressing their grave concern over the serious violations of the ceasefire. Thousands took to the street in Jerusalem's Pride Parade today in a defiant march through a notoriously conservative city. Crowds came out in a show of force, not only celebrating Pride, but also in defiance of the right-wing government's plans to reshape the legal system. The U.S. ambassador to Israel joined the march, saying this is about human rights and is what brings America and Israel together. And a royal wedding today, packed with stars and global VIPs in Amman, Jordan. The Crown Prince of Jordan married the scion of a prominent Saudi family in a ceremony holding deep regional significance in the Arab world. The star-studded event included Britain's Prince William and his wife Kate, as well as U.S. First Lady Jill Biden. And now to the latest in our series Streamlined, where we bring you some of the biggest films and TV series hitting digital screens worldwide. Speaking with some of the actors and creators behind them, and tonight ABC's Will Gann spoke with star and executive producer Bridget Everett and her co-star Jeff Hiller of HBO's hit series Somebody Somewhere about the show's unexpected rise and what they're learning about life on the better side of 40.
It's like the first time you fell in love.
I've never been in love.
You're the only person I know that would do anything for me.
Somebody Somewhere is a love story, but maybe not the kind of love story you're used to seeing on TV.
I think it was important to us to do something that isn't like woman meets man, falls in love, and he changes her life, like in the romantic sense. I really wanted to have something that where the friendship is a central love story.
I mean, it is like a love letter to friendships. There are so many folks out there, myself included, the greatest love stories of my life are my friendships.
Me too. I just feel like I spent a lot of time in life like Sam, kind of holding up and staring at the walls and things, but it's the friends that I met that worked hard to crack a rough exterior, and I feel like it's important to kind of to shine a light on that.
You brought me home.
In Somebody Somewhere, Bridget Everett plays Sam, whose life seems stalled in her small town until she meets Joel, played by Jeff Hiller.
For so many people to watch and see a story about people on the wrong side of 40 who are still living and still have dreams and still have hopes and aren't just supposed to be like, oh, well, it's over. Go ahead, 22-year-olds, live it.
I mean, I would say that we're on the right side of 40 now if it weren't for the incontinence, but I do feel like wiser and more confident now. Even though I still struggle with that, I feel like just listen to your voice.
The show is inspired by Everett's real-life experiences, battles, and journey to self-discovery. Now she's writing, executive producing, and starring in Somebody Somewhere on the right side of 40.
I don't think of myself as a boss. I think of myself as number one on the call sheet, and you're number two, so we're pretty close.
Neck and neck.
Yeah, neck and neck.
How does it feel being number one on the call sheet?
Really good.
What would you tell younger Bridget about the day that she's number one on the
I'd
call
say
sheet?
get out of your own way and take a chance on yourself. At least you're doing what makes you happy, right? Look, it landed me on HBO, so, I mean, I guess I also had a little talent and, cut that out. Cut that.
Perseverance?
Yeah, I had a lot of tenacity, right? I think it takes tenacity and just believing in yourself. And I think I wasted a lot of time not believing in myself, and that's the one thing I would change.
And how could he have gotten it so wrong? Do I look like a linebacker? I don't want to look like a linebacker.
You look linebacker adjacent.
shoulders. It looks like, what's the dance? The 80s dance that, yeah.
Where does Bridget end and Sam begin?
Well, I think Sam is willing to take bigger emotional strides than I am. I feel like I'm one step behind and I'm learning from her along the way. But you know, you meet somebody like Joel and Jeff and they're undeniable, so you sort of have no choice but to fall in love with living again.
Don't do it. Don't ruin this moment, please.
I really love you.
Joel?
I love you.
On screen, Jeff Hiller's Joel juggles being both Christian and gay in this small Kansas community.
You know, I see myself a lot in Joel. He is kind of the Venn diagram of where being a Christian person and a queer person, you know, a lot of your audience, I assume, sees themselves in.
And I've never seen this person portrayed on TV, ever. I think usually gay plus church equals persecution in pop culture, and there are so many queer people in small communities or rural communities, but also in cities that find their community in a faith setting, and it's nice to see lots of different types of people on TV.
What do you hope that audiences see when they see that community thriving on screen?
I think that it just, your found family is there. You just keep looking, you're gonna find your people. Whether that's New York City, whether that's Big Apple or the Little Apple. That's what I take from it, but I don't know what you think. What do you think?
I 100% agree. And it's not just because she's my boss.
When you're writing a script for this show, how do you strike the perfect balance between heavy and laughter? And sometimes it's like on a whim.
In my family, there was a lot of laughter and deflection, right? So you sort of let the pain in where you have to, and then pop it back up with a light moment.
I want to ask about Mike Haggerty, who, was such a felt loss in the world, and I'm sure especially in your world, too. In the show, his character, Sam's father, didn't die.
Carolyn Strauss, who's one of our executive producers, said that, we really had so much grief in season 1, and she thought it would be better to he goes down to Corpus Christi, he's on a boat with his brother, and that way, he was so vital. He was such a full of life person, so it's our way of kind of bringing him with us.
What is next for you all? I mean, individually, for the show, what are you able to share?
We're getting married.
Congratulations.
I want the gifts.
George Stephanopoulos is officiating.
Again, I'm constantly losing out to George.
Well, we need somebody at the guest book, so.
It's a great job for me.
Well, I think we're both hoping for a season 3, but we'll see how that goes.
It's telling a story that I haven't seen on television before, and in so many ways it feels like it's telling my story, and I know that a lot of folks who watch it feel that way about it. So thank you for
Thanks for having us.
The warmth into, a very cold world sometimes. So really appreciate you both.
I love you.
Yeah. Seriously.
That's how all of Will's interviews end. Our thanks to Will Gans, and Somebody Somewhere has been picked up for a 3rd season. You can watch the first 2 seasons right now on Max. And still to come, she has gained millions of followers through her relatable videos and beauty tutorials. She's also made history in the fashion world. We speak with Amira Despain, this week's TikTok.
Friday, follow the clues.
He was a phenomenal jazz player.
She's very friendly, happy girl.
He was a very jealous, violent man.
Here you have a body that's almost decapitated.
It was just so shocking.
Stunning new evidence.
It's hard to hide blood when it's everywhere.
And the interrogation video.
Please, your father, let me help this man get to the bottom of this case.
What?
All new 2020, Friday night on ABC. With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television. Right now in America, with so much at stake, thank you for making ABC's This Week America's #1 news and politics show on Sunday mornings.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
We take a closer look at the story behind the sensation. Of course, today kicks off Pride Month. It's a season to celebrate the contributions of the LGBTQ+ community. And here to share her story, the first Black transgender woman to model in Victoria's Secret, Ameerah Disspain. Ameerah, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So I know you've got more than 1 million followers on the platform, and you talk about your transition, dating, beauty tips, life in New York City. We were just talking about life in New York City. Congratulations on your following. For the people that don't know you, what do they need to know about you?
What do they need to know about me? Well, I am fabulous, obviously.
Clearly.
But no, I love my followers, my community that I've built online. I think it's really cool that I get to share my story every day, and I wake up, get to play with makeup, and that's like my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you post about all kinds of different topics. I mean, you do speak about your transition, which is a very personal process for everybody. You're very open about yours. What led you to talk about it?
Well, I've debated back and forth about like whether or not I was going to share a lot of it online, and we were actually just talking about this. I think the decision that I came to is because I really feel like it's important to share my story because there's a lot of trans people who don't have the privileges that I do, and I think it's important that people get to see different sides of someone being trans. And I think that's really cool.
Have you learned things about yourself by sharing your story?
100%.
Yeah.
I think I've most definitely learned like how much my community means to me. I think that's the biggest thing, is that I've built this like little love bubble that I think it's awesome that I get to share my story and my life, and that's really special.
It does appear to be like incredibly positive for you in the comments, all your followers and things like that. I mean, speaking of the community, how do you feel about Pride Month? Any big plans, anything like that?
I don't really know. I honestly, like, Pride for me, I think it's so oversaturated that I feel like sometimes it gets a little like overkill. So I'm trying to maybe do a little Pride party at my house, and I think that could be really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How about to the people that aren't in your community, aren't in your followers? What would you like them to know about your day-to-day life and your community at large?
I think I would like them to know that I'm a very positive person, and that's, positivity has been something that's always been at the core of me, and confidence. And a lot of people that follow me and are a part of my life don't necessarily identify with me, but I think the tips and advice that I give with beauty and even beyond, the confidence, I think is like what's most able to people to take away.
You talk about beauty a lot, of course.
Yeah.
Any LGBTQIA-owned companies that you want to shout out?
One Size Beauty by Patrick Starr, a fellow influencer. He's fabulous, and yeah, I love everything from them.
It's amazing that you're so open with your story. It's great that you're getting the support from people.
Thank you.
Looking back, I mean, some of those videos that we just pulled up, you had from yourself from 2016 and then going through the process.
Yeah.
What would 2016 you, or even before that, think about where you are right now?
I don't think that she would believe how far we've come. I think I used to get in my head a lot, and I doubted myself a lot growing up, but I was surrounded by so much love and so much positivity. My parents are so supportive. My friends are so supportive. And I think that has led me to blossom into who I am today. So yeah, I'm living proof that if you give a child like love and confidence, and this is what happens.
How'd it feel making history with Victoria's Secret?
It felt amazing.
Yeah, I would imagine so. What's next for you?
I really want to get into acting, and I used to act when I was younger, so I want to get back into film. So stay tuned.
Okay, we will. Thank you very much for being here. It was wonderful to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
And a happy Pride Month.
Thank you.
And enjoy your party.
I will.
I'm sure it will be a lot of fun. Ameerah, thank you so much for joining us. And you can find much more about her life and more helpful makeup tips as well. We're always looking for that. At XOXO Ameerah. And that is our show for tonight. I am Trevor Ault. ABC News Live is here for you with all night the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on Hulu, on Roku, on the ABC News app, everywhere. Of course, on abcnews.com. Have a great day.